Hi, this is BodyCandy, and I'm Tara, and I'm here with Nicole, one of our staff members, and we're going to talk today a little bit about some of her piercings and such. So, what was your first piercing?
My first piercing was my nipple, and it was actually done by a friend of mine. I was 15 years old, and it was done on her bathroom floor with a safety pin. So, not necessarily the best recommended method, but you know, we all do dumb things when we're 15, right?
Yeah, remember, if you want to keep your nipples, stay away from safety pins. And what kind of feelings would you describe that you get before you get pierced?
I think like anyone else, you get nerves and the butterflies in your stomach, and I don't think that really goes away no matter how many times that you get pierced. I think it's just a natural feeling that you psych yourself up like anything else, and once it's over, it's like it was nothing.
Cool. And what type of piercings do you personally find attractive?
My favorite piercing is the Medusa, which is the top of your lip in the center. I think it's just an attractive piercing. It looks really good on most people. I also really love surface piercings, primarily the nape piercing, which is the back of your neck, but it can be a high maintenance thing. I've had it done twice, and not so much with the surface piercing rejecting, but when you brush it and things like that, just the placement of it can be tough.
Okay, and would you say you have a high pain tolerance, or that you've developed one?
I would say, I mean, I guess with time you get kind of dulled to the pain of like tattoos and piercings somewhat, just more used to it, I guess, but I don't think that my pain tolerance is any different than anybody else's. I just think some people, you know, just work themselves up in their mind a little bit more than others. So I think it's more of that than anything.
So for those of you who always want to ask, you know, does it hurt? Yeah, granted, it's going to hurt a little bit, but definitely worth it in the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and how many tattoos would you say you have?
I have a lot of big pieces. I'd say about 12. I have a lot of big things that I've worked on, but I would say about 12 that I have right now. And like I have big things like my chest, and I have a leg sleeve I'm working on that's an octopus.
And what would you describe the feeling of getting tattooed as?
I think it's just like a constant, just mild pain. Like it's nothing that's too much to handle. It really does depend on, I think, the placement of it, just where it is. If it's on like bone and thin skin and sensitive skin, I think that's what really makes the difference. But it's just something that I think you can kind of block out, and it really won't affect you much. It just really depends on where it is more than anything.
Cool. And so what size are your plugs?
My ears are 1 inch.
And how long have you been stretching them to attain that?
I actually started, I was probably about 15, 16 years old, and I just started small myself, and they've probably been at this size probably for about, I'd say 5 years, maybe 6 years, and I just kind of kept them at the same size for a while.
And would you say body mods are for everybody?
Yeah, I would say absolutely. I think there's a common misconception that a lot of people think that it's just for one type of person or younger kids or something like that, when it's really just how it's done and the placement of things. Like a nose piercing can be very girly, and it could be on a punk rock kid, you know? So it's like the nose hoop can make it a little bit more punk rock, if you want to say, than a tiny diamond stud for, you know, a girl that just wants to be more professional about it. So I think a lot of people kind of think that it's something that only certain people can do, and it's not the case. I think it's just all how it's done.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for watching. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr.